engine time. We've just had a big delivery from 5150 over in the States. Joe, how are we? Good to see you. Always up to mischief. Yeah. Have you seen Tom?
No, he's not in.
Not in? No. Oh, fuck. All right, let's have R44 air freshener in the M4. Ooh, damn. So over there, we have Jay from German Auto Works, who's doing some stuff which we won't go into. We'll leave him to just do his stuff. Good to see you, Jay.
Hello.
How's things? Taking up from last time I've seen this car, this turbo was not here. So this is the beautiful R44 X TWP built by Overkill Performance, single turbo kit. This turbo is actually not the turbo that we're running. We'll go into that in a little bit, but we've got the Turbo Smart actuators down there. Yeah, a bit blown away how good it looks.
My name's Ravi, and I'm the owner of CSF Cooling, and we've been helping our good friends over at R44 get the manifold, their new Precision Turbo 82 series turbo coated, as well as some KLM stuff. And I brought it over to our go-to powder coater and Cerakoter, who is MB Performance. Here's the GM. This is my good friend Pat. As you can see, they do all of our coolers. I've stuffed my RS6 today with as many coolers as I can take back to the warehouse. We actually have the Miami Blue S58 intake manifold in the car, but what I wanted to show you guys is a little bit more of how it's done, the people behind it. Pat, how long have you been working at MB?
About 15 years.
15
so I've been
years.
here for 15 years.
And I mean, we're doing like hundreds of thousands of dollars in coating together now.
Yep.
You guys have been super instrumental in getting our business off the ground when it came to all the charge air coolers, the intake manifolds, and now pretty much anything we need coated, we always bring it to you.
Perfect. We appreciate your business, and we always try our best.
Yeah, you guys do a killer job. And you know, Southern California, there's a lot of coating companies, but you guys take it to the next level when it comes to detail, the way you guys sandblast your stuff, the way you prep it, and ultimately it shows in the finished product. Let's go inside and let's show them the turbo housing and everything you did for the guys at R44. So we got the turbo here. Look at this big boy. And we got the powder from Prismatic. They've done a great job matching the Porsche Miami Blue. You've done a great job masking it off, making sure the flanges are left bare so it's a good seal. We've done some small details like on the KLM catch can. So we did the ring in Miami Blue. Reese wanted a full stealth black catch can holder. So Pat blasted it, did this in what? This is BK08?
BK08.
BK08. This is like a standard black that
semi-gloss,
semi-gloss that you shoot. And today it's going to be in a box on the way to England by DHL. So thank you. Thanks to Pat and the team at MB Performance, and we'll catch you soon. So now we're back at CSF. You just saw us at MB Performance, and we got all the great, awesome looking Miami Blue S58 components for the guys over at R44 and Tom Wrigley. This is our first time doing this color. Casey, who's in charge of putting all of our manifolds together, this is kind of his domain, this is his station. So we got Gen 1 B58 over here, all of our Gen 2 B58 stuff. We're sold out of some stuff right now, so you got nothing on the shelf. And then we have all the assembly and all the different components that go with it. So we have a red one that we're gonna be putting together today. Casey just put these together. This is an 83 series turbo. So earlier I said it's 82. There's actually a next gen Sportsman 8350, I think. And it's a big boy, it's a beast. So these guys are definitely on the way up to 1,500 horsepower. Nice KLM catch can that we did the Miami Blue 2 with the nice satin finish bracket. So this is how everything's getting together. Christian's over there putting a race manifold together for a B58 that's going out to a customer. So yeah, Casey, so far you've done what? You've put the manifold together, fuel rails on.
All the hardware back on, everything's in. Put the hardware here on the catch can, housing back onto the unit here.
Awesome, so we're gonna get this all boxed up. DHL's coming to pick this up today, and next time you see this stuff, it's gonna be the UK at Tom Wrigley's place.
All right, so I'm gonna set the scene. I'm gonna sit down with Jay from German Altworks today, because Jay's come in and done something that's quite unique, especially in a small country like here in the UK, and he's good at what he does. But we'll go into that in a bit more detail. Let's welcome Jay to the seat and learn a little bit more about him. Jay, thank you very much for coming down. So Jay owns German Auto Works, and I've only known him for about 4 weeks. It was a recommendation from Tom, but let's get straight into it. So Jay, tell us about yourself, who you are, kind of what you do, and what are your kind of goals going into the future?
I'm Jay Dalgano. I own German Auto Works. German Auto Works has been around for about 2 years now. We tackle the niches in the market, so you'd come to us for things like fire extinguishers, motorsport builds, wiring loom strips, kinematic setups.
So Jay, before I carry you on, you said loom strips. How do you even get to know that? So where's your background from?
So actually, it starts way before that. You know, grassroots. I would be the kid that would be going up and down the road on go-karts. I'd be modifying them, putting pit bike engines on them. And then that kind of developed into what I was going to do after I left school. I decided to go for an apprenticeship, and apprenticeships was something that weren't really that common back then. I think I was the only one in the year that did it. Wow. I went for an apprenticeship with BMW, which I absolutely loved. And then of an evening, the older lads in the workshop would bring in their race cars, and it would be like, you know, this shop of, in the day you're working on servicing, and then the race cars would come in. That's really what I absolutely loved, and I got really involved with that. I learned how to do wiring looms, I learned how to do fire extinguishers, and it kind of just grew from there, really. Moving on, I finished BMW, I finished the apprenticeship, then I was a senior tech. I decided at that point I was going to leave BMW. I was 18 years old, and then I entered the world of business, which, as you can imagine, is up and down, but here we are today, and I've managed to find a business where I can do what I love, which is the niche of what we do, but also make it my job.
So obviously, I met you a few weeks ago when Tom said no to air jacks. So Tom told me a little bit about fire extinguishers, and he said you need to get one. And then when I was chatting to him about air jacks quite a while ago, and then he said no to air jacks, but I kind of had your contact at that point. So I kind of just got the details from you, so I knew that I was going to get the air jacks done. Air jacks, Tom said no, I said yes, we made it happen. So we have the air jacks, that's one part of it. So when it goes into the air jack system, we've got 4 AST air jacks.
Well, I guess we should probably start with the functionality of it. Are they there? Coming from a motorsport background, when you're changing wheels a lot, when you need to, you know, you do your sticky tyres, it's such a pain in the ass to get a jack under there. The air jacks completely eliminate all of that hassle. You literally plug a lance into the side of the car lifts up. Now, to achieve that, we need to obviously install the air jacks themselves. AST makes some really nice ones that are actually fitted to the car. And then we actually need to plumb them in. So essentially we use a AN6 hard line. The line gets run through the car and it will go to each individual air jack. They will get fed with the same air that comes from a bottle, an external bottle, outside
and I'll jump in now quickly to throw you off track with a bottle. Can you believe is just a dive bottle pretty much?
Yeah.
And that's what our goal is, to find a dive shop wherever we are in the States to fill it up. So we've got the dive bottle, that's outside the car. We then have a bit of hose that's going to go to a lance, right?
To a lance.
And we spec Crontec.
Crontec.
So before we go into the final bits, we'll keep diving off, but Crontec, why did you... I've done a bit of research because obviously I'm trying my best to learn as much as I can, because everything I learned today and I can relate to my team when we start retailing these items, then we can share the love. But Crontec, why did you kind of push me towards that as well?
So there's definitely some cheaper options out there, but my philosophy is look at what the professionals are using. When you're in the industry of endurance racing, look at the kind of equipment that they're using. That's going to be reliable, it's going to work every single time, and it's you know, they've built up a reputation for years and years. Crontec, they look at any GT car, any Le Mans car, it's going to have Crontec on it, or something very similar of that level. With the type of build this is, you need it to be functional, you need it to work every time. We can't be having those embarrassing moments where a line pops off or something like that. You can actually manually control the descent of the car. So that's going to add an extra layer to that look of the car, the functionality. You don't have to just drop it straight down. You can bring it down nice and slowly. And again, it's top tier products for a top tier car.
You sent me some amazing photos of the BMW I think like the CS cars, the Club Sport cars, and they put the valves on the back, right?
In the boot. So I made it on our GT4 car that we built. The boot latch would mount, and then that's where the receiver is, and then you have this like carbon fiber shroud, and that goes into the boot lid. And then you can then put the lance in there. The only problem with that is you had to then run aero catches to hold the boot down.
Big thing with this build being built in the UK from start to finish, the finish line as it rolls into that container and out of that container, we're utilizing some really cool brands and we're keeping them tight. Like they're only people within our network a hand apart. So like, you know, ACW have worked for Tom and they work for you. And that validates the kind of relationship to make sure that when we hand our windows.
Phone call was, have you ever done these windows before? He said no. I said, can we make it happen? He said yes. That's the kind of network that we need to have in this industry to get things to happen really quickly. We're going to go for a hard coating. The reason why you would do that is because if you get the lower cost ones, yes, they're going to cost less, but then as soon as you wipe them, they're going to scratch. Hard coated ones, they cost more, but they literally last 10 times longer. I've got race cars that have had hard coated windscreens. We've done 2 seasons with the window wipers going. Obviously in the UK, the rain. It's quite common. There's no scratching there at all. So yeah, it'll be hard coated. It's also going to be an extra millimetre thicker than the original because we want that rigidity. We're going to be putting that lance through the window.
Of course, yeah.
We're going to need it to be rigid.
I really wanted windows for the front, or the doors, the swing doors.
These are all frameless doors. And when it comes to the polycarbonate windows, you can get them what they call thermoformed, which is what your rears will be.
These doors, don't they, Jay, when you open the door, they go down. And we'll be removing the motors to reduce the weight. Because if you're going to do it, you've got to do it right the first time. So you've got to go carbon doors, remove all the motors, fix the glass with a polycarbonate glass, but then the glass won't move.
Yeah, so the glass won't move, and the way these windows work is when you open the door, they drop down slightly because then they pull themselves out of the sill that goes over the top. Now, you can achieve that with the plexiglass, but you have to bend it in such a way that when it touches that sill, it goes up inside. That's fine for a car that might reach 120, 140, but the speeds that you guys are going to be getting to, those windows could potentially pop out, and at that point, it's not good for anyone. What you can do is you can get the weight out as much as you can, and then fix the glass window in place. Again, you're getting to that problem of it going up into the seal.
So yeah, killed my dream there, but the goal will be we'll just get some carbon doors. We're losing a lot of weight in these doors already. Cool. Biggest thing that I've seen with Air Jacks on Instagram is it's like I don't know, like some Star Wars shit. Where it just like walks its way up. How can we get rid of that?
Yeah, so what we can do, we can almost tune your air jacks. So it's all about airflow. But what we can do is we can restrict the airflow to those, and then hopefully what that will do is it will give a slower reaction to the rear ones, and the front ones will then lift up. And if we tune it right, we may be able to achieve it all goes up at the same time.
So it's that's probably the most thing that's going to annoy me the most of these amazing Air Jacks is the lifting sequence, because we want it just to go perfectly. We've obviously got the safety stands to go with the Air Jacks. Is there anything else as you go into the car with the Air Jacks? It's just hard lines and connections, right?
Yeah, essentially it's quite simple. We're going to secure them with P-clips. We don't want them just rattling around and going everywhere. So we're going to run it as neat as possible. We're going to make sure that we're avoiding any foot traffic. So that's when you're getting in and out. You don't want to be touching or crushing any of those lines. So we're going to run them nice and neat, similar to where the fire extinguisher lines are at the moment. And then, it's going to plug in and work. With a touch of the button, you are extinguishing a fire that could be in the engine bay or could be inside the car and on yourself. You don't have to do anything other than pressing a button. And it's not, rushing, getting a cable tied to brake or anything like that. It's just straight there, bang, done.
Quite interesting stuff. And the key thing I guess you're going to try and do in the engine bay is, sequence of building is such a big thing in this build. We have no time at all. We've got to get it done. We've been delayed on one little flange, which then meant the car didn't run.
We better arrive soon, because otherwise, we're going to be pretty fucked.
So a little bit from the overkill side, like this car had this little flange, but the big thing that's going to that I was dreaming for you to do is the loom weight reductions. Weight's our biggest goal. We're going to that 1-to-1 power to weight ratio. there's a lot of weight in these looms.
Yeah, so essentially we would remove it from the car completely. So from the engine bay, take the whole thing out, lay it down on the floor. Then we're going to look at all of the control units that are no longer needed. So your amplifier, if you wasn't going to run any speakers,
I've got none.
You could literally get rid of that. That amplifier alone is 3 to 4 kilos. And then you're going to take out all of those thick speaker wires that are twisted pairs all around the car.
He's turning me on right now.
You can take all of that out. And then there's a lot of, you're going to get rid of the doors. So we've got all of the window switches, all of the power for the motors, that can all be taken out. You've got your seat electronics.
It's done an X Drive conversion. It's now running the X Drive, but Tom said, look, we just cannot touch it. We just don't want to be like 2 weeks before we ship it away, you reduce the weight of the loom, and then you go, Tom, it's not working. But yeah, let's go outside. Let's have a look at Tom's M2. That is your dream customer, is it?
Yeah.
Pretty much, would you say?
Yeah.
And as always, if you want to know more about Jay, check out his social media. It's German Auto Works. Check out his YouTube channel. He does his own YouTube channel where he goes into some of his builds, because you can see what the possibilities are. And I've watched some to kind of open that imagination. Tom Reed is a GT4 racing driver. He's just finished his series driving the new G87 M2. I think this is his own little like bestial build for the future of just getting on track and enjoying it, because Tom builds a lot of these. Jay, come into shot. How long have you had this car in your kind of hands?
It's been a while. It's been a slow project.
Yeah.
Just sort of getting bits and bobs as we moved along. It's had a full wiring loop, full range.
Wow.
And a fire extinguisher install. We've done aero catches. Took the original roof off.
Yeah.
Installed a carbon roof on there.
Because the G87 is all just a mind of unknown.
Yeah, well that's it. With your one, we could have taken the receiver and put it here, and then taken away this part, and then the sort of carbon shroud would have gone here. But as the boot lid is curved, we don't know if it's going to fit.
We'll jump inside now. We'll let you just carry on, and then I'm going to disappear and find Tom, because I've just heard he's out at a drag strip testing the final touches before I steal his gearbox, and some final touches from his car that he's been working on. I'm actually going to take and put on the G87 as we go into the build in the next couple weeks, and put it on the container and send it to America. So Jay, mate, thank you very much. I really appreciate your effort, and I can't wait to see the car as it's done.
Me neither.
So we're at Tom's place. You can see here he's just done an 8-second pass. In the rear-wheel drive M140i at Pod today. But anyways, I'm gonna give Tom a call now and see what he's up to, see if it's worth us popping down. It's about 2.5 hour drive to the drag strip. Tom, how's things? Congratulations on your 8-9 pass. It's pretty quick. Well, do you think you can get any more? Fair enough. All right, cool. Well, we'll come down. We'll do, I think that we wanna see the G80 go down anyway. So we'll be there in about 2 hours. We'll leave now and let us know how you get on. So let's head down. Let's go see Tom and let's see if we can get a 7-second pass in the G80 M3. What's happened, lad?
Snap the diff, I think.
The diff?
Input to the diff. Well, the diff snapping's what caused the box to snap, to be fair.